Hi everyone. For this project, I wanted to share some insight that I personally have used in the classroom regarding Windows Movie Maker. Now I'm a little late to join in the class, so I'm yet to get my textbooks in the mail even though they have been ordered. But I did do a little bit of research and I noticed that Windows Movie Maker was one of the options for an app that they recommended. My experience with Windows Movie Maker in the classroom, I would say, is fairly extensive. In my district, we used it a lot, especially for the purposes of the yearbook and the yearbook class, which is where my experience comes into play. What you can see here is that I've Googled Windows Movie Maker, and if you look in this little corner here, it says that Windows Movie Maker was discontinued um, by Microsoft. And if you have an older computer or an older version of Microsoft, I guess I should say, you should still be able to find Windows Movie Maker on the computer, and it is an amazing resource. But after getting new computers from my school district last year, um, I realized sadly that Windows Movie Maker was no longer available when I went to begin the senior slideshow for our school. So I did a lot of research on some of these different software programs out there, and a lot of them are free to a certain extent, but then require you to pay in order to save, download, or add music to your movie or file. And so that just didn't work for me. So what I found as an alternative after some research is that Windows, they actually have a version, sort of say, of Movie Maker or similar to Movie Maker in the new Photos section. So what I have here is the on Windows 10, Photos is pulled up. And if you go to More, you can find Video Projects. And so what you'll see here is that um, they have basically made a condensed version of Movie Maker in their photo app. And it actually does a lot of the same things that Movie Maker did. And if your computer labs at school have Windows 10, your students would be able to use this free of charge. It is already downloaded on the computer, so it doesn't require an extra install, which is fantastic. So I can just talk about a couple ways that I might use this in my classroom. There are so many opportunities to use this in the classroom. Being an ELA teacher, I there's just so many things I could do. For example, I was thinking about teaching Shirley Jackson's The Lottery. And so if I go ahead here and click new video, I can just type in Shirley Jackson here, The Lottery, to name my file. And then after providing my students with an assignment sheet with all the expectations, and after reading The Lottery, I could use Movie Maker as a choice of differentiation as a summative assignment for my students. So I might require my students to make a movie trailer based on the short story The Lottery. So to imagine that this were to be turned into a movie, how could they get an audience excited about the lottery? And on my assignment sheet, I would probably require certain things from my students. For example, in their video, they might need to list at least 3 themes found in the lottery. Or throughout their video, they might have to have textual evidence from the book appear within the video. The video should be engaging and make people want to read and or watch this film. However, you can also have them include themes through the use of symbols and use that textual evidence, because you can add words. These movies, you can add pictures, you can add music, so you can even talk about tone and mood and have them set appropriate music to set the mood, or even talk about tone through how you find your textual evidence as well. So I know I've talked quite a bit, but I can go through some of the basic functions of the app so that you can see some of the things that it can do. And then I can maybe talk about a couple other ideas that I would do in my ELA classroom. Okay, so as you can see here, I have my video named. You can have students rename it, do whatever they need to do here. And so this says your project library is empty. You can add photos and video clips to get started. So the cool thing is that you can add photos and videos, so students can arrange those both however they deem fit. They can get them from their PC, from Microsoft Collections, or even from the internet through Google, which I think is really awesome. So I can just click on my PC and you can see how they can scroll through the PC. You can see the camera, the photos, etc. I'm not sure. I think on my desktop I probably have a picture of my dog. Yeah. Okay, so I have a picture of my dog now. And so once you get some files in here, what you can do, just like the old Windows Movie Maker, it looks exactly the same. You can go ahead and you can drag the items you want to use down here into the project library. And so what you'll see is that as you drag them in, your movie starts to accumulate. That's probably not the right word, but it begins to well, it presents itself up here in the corner. So you can do things like add title cards. So I might recommend for my students to use this title card as a text screen, perhaps. So maybe I want to have them go ahead and say, you know, this is lottery. Maybe I can say something punny like, say something like, well, you can also change the layout too. I can say, you know, by Shirley Jackson, maybe like, is today your day? We can say, is today your lucky day? And of course, that's a little bit misleading, but if you've read the lottery, whoever wins the lottery, it's not a good thing like we would see in our modern day. But here, winning the lottery, sort of Hunger Games-esque, and winning the lottery means death. So maybe have a sort of little pun here for the students. They can change the background. So again, if we're talking about mood and setting that mood in a story, that can also translate to a screen. So, you know, they can use symbolic colors. So maybe have blue to represent that, and they can even add custom colors here as well. So I can click done. And again, you can change the font and do a lot of things with that as well. And then let's say that, you know, this was a video clip or a picture that really went along with my film. You can add, well, you can change the duration. So I might want to make the audience really feel this image. And so I might change it to 7 seconds. Again, I can add text. So if I'm wanting my students to add that textual evidence, they might say, you know, whatever the text is. So textual evidence goes here, and then we can have them properly cite it as well. And then again, you can change where that goes. You can do camera motion, so like transitions. You can change how that's done. You can add 3D effects to the video as well. So breaking, I'm not sure what this is. Breaking news might be something that I would want to include at the beginning because, you know, breaking news, the lottery is happening. So you can add these throughout your video. You can also add filters. We all know our kids love filters in a day of Instagram and Snapchat. So you can do that. And yeah, you can show or remove the black bars, shrink it to fit. You can rotate your images, and then if you work on something and you decide it just doesn't fit, you can throw it away. In the same sense, if I decide that I don't like the decision that I just made, I can go ahead and undo that. Last couple things that I want to say here is you can add that background music. So again, you can tie this back into content because you can talk about how every choice helps create that tone and mood in a novel in the same way that it would if it were on screen. You can add custom audio for some of our kids who want to use another app. Maybe they want to create something in GarageBand on a Mac. They can add that custom audio here. And the really great thing about this for my school district is a lot of times when you're working with a video project, kids don't know where to put it. They don't know where to send it. They don't know how to send it because it's too big. And the great thing about this is it syncs to OneDrive. And so I know in Horry County, a lot of you are in Horry County, they are Google schools, which is great. But in my district, we are actually we're a Microsoft district, so we use OneDrive, and all of our students have accounts. So I can go ahead and say sync to OneDrive, and then my students' videos could automatically be connected to their account. Again, you can finish the video up here. I can make it full screen. If I had options, of course, I could play the video. And yeah, I can escape to get out of that. So yeah, this is a great alternative to Windows Movie Maker if you are also sad like me that Windows 10 does not have Movie Maker. But Microsoft did a great job of using this little Photos app to do much more than just photos. And with that being said, I think that there's so many things this little app can do. And the great thing is you don't have to download it. It is already on a computer if you're using Microsoft platforms. It is a great alternative to Windows Movie Maker, or even using an alternative to using Apple's program if your school is Microsoft like my school is. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I know that it really helped me out to discover this, but it wasn't so easy to discover this. I had to do a lot of research to realize that this was available through Microsoft already on the computer because I was missing Windows Movie Maker. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope that it helps you in your classroom. With ELA, there's a million possibilities. I could use this to create literary commercials. I could even use this if I was teaching argument to have my students take a stand and sort of make like a propaganda video. I could use this to teach ethos, pathos, and logos. There's just endless possibilities here, and again, accessible, easy to use, and I really love that you can import this, or my students can link it right to OneDrive. Okay, hope everyone is having a wonderful Labor Day weekend and that you are safe and dry from Hurricane Dorian. I am about to evacuate as well. Have a great day.